Happy day, y'all. Happy day. I am Kira, and let's see, we're just checking out those mic levels. So pardon me for a minute while I'm just kind of checking out everything here. It's been a little bit, but I'm back and ready to craft and art and make things and have fun. So let's see, just check in. Let's see, we could do this one here. And I'm checking out my audio. Microphone seems to be pretty good. I'm gonna turn the music down a touch, a skosh. Okay, and actually let's turn it down on this level as well too. Okay, so today we're doing some paint pour. I am doing paint pour pumpkins. This is actually really cool. It gets to double down for my day job for realsies, and that I will actually be doing this. I work in Parks and Rec. Oh boy. Okay. I work in Parks and Rec during the day, and I'm going to be doing paint pours in our active agent programs on Monday. So obviously I need to make some testers to show them what's up and keep this as easy and fun as possible. Plus I'm also trying to really get mileage out of these kits and colors as such. This kit is available at Michael's. I also got these Ashland. This is small, this is the 6.5 inch pumpkin. They were currently $5. At the top of the season, they're 10, but they were on sale for now. You can get larger ones at 9. So keep that in mind if you're actually gonna follow this as a tutorial for yourself, that this is a 6.5 inch pumpkin. So when I'm using cups like this that are maybe like 6 ounces or 5 ounces, or these itty bitty cups that hold maybe 2 or 3, you know, you're gonna have different standards for what you need. Also, whether you're making your own paint pours or buying a kit, it's really good to shake these babies up. Shake those up now and then, because they might have been sitting in the box or on your own home shelf for a week or two as you're like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. So shaking these babies up, and let's show you what we have to work with today. I have a handful of pumpkins here. So let me set this back over here. We have our Ashland Craft pumpkin. We have our Ashland Craft pumpkin that I'm showing you as well too. And then I have a handful of real ones that I just happen to have lying around the house as 'tis the season. I have this baby little Cinderella pumpkin, a nice little cute little white one, and this orange one. I also have a beverage over here. Stay hydrated. Apple juice is delicious. I have a tiny little orange one for use as well too. And you might be noticing I have an accomplice. This is Shadow. Shadow is a great little gray guy, and he keeps me a lot of company. And he's over here on the sides now checking out what we're going to be doing today. So I also have a similar live pumpkin, or I suppose it's not live any longer, but I have a real pumpkin, I should say, and it's a comparable size to the Craft Ashland with 6.5 inch. So they're pretty similar in size. So I have a game plan specifically for the tiny ones, is that these are going to be the dredges of our paint pour cups, so that they can, almost nothing's going to go to waste, or at least that's the goal, that nothing will go to waste. So anything left over we can use to decorate these tiny ones. We also have a few embellishments as well today too. So I actually have some gold leaf, or gold foil flakes, as you should say. This came from another kit that I actually got at Joann's, and I've already started to sparkle. I have a handful of glitters available too. Now these, obviously the finely ground ones, this is These finely ground ones, those sparkle, those are going to be a little more of a dusting, if you will, fairy godmother style. And these larger ones, which have already started to adorn our setup today, these ones are a little more fine. So these larger ones, you probably want to actually get a really secure bag to store them in. And you also want to get little tweezers so that you can actually like place them a little more strategically. So if you're going to use any large glitters or large foil elements, a little set of tweezers is going to go a long way to help out your setup, okay? So let's see what else. We have a variety of cup styles. I have these reusable paint pour cups. This is pretty dry. You can tell I didn't clean them very well. Also, if you're doing anything, especially with your own homebrew paint, which we can totally go over in the future, but you're also going to want some popsicle sticks to keep things like live and fresh, and you want to keep that stuff really liquidy. So I also have a couple of strainers. To be honest, I've never actually used these strainers, but I've had them in my kit. So I'm paint pour ready to make stuff, but just haven't done that much. What was the other thing? Oh, also super handy, this helps add cells, so silicone spray. So actually, when you're really starting out paint pour, you can actually get most of your supplies and your mediums actually at Home Depot or Lowe's or just a regular hardware store. And this is where you pick up silicone plaster. It's actually used for engines, and this can actually add a ton of cell life to your pieces. Now, we're going to be obviously working on a three-dimensional object, so we're going to have like runoff and drip. Remember those sprinkles? I mean, sparkles, the sequins. Oh, and you're probably wondering like, wait, WTF, what is that? So actually, what I also have here is I have a handful of push pins and some gloves. So actually what you want to do, and we're going to go over that right now, is all of your pumpkins, or if you're getting really creative and you're going to get into three-dimensional objects, also power to you, you're going to want to give yourself something to hold on to manipulate these around. Because if I was just handling them and turning this to help that paint start to just move in general, it's going to, with my fingers like this, I'm going to get finger smudges all over these little precious pumpos. So while I'm wearing my gloves, I'm actually going to handle it. Once I actually start the pour, I'm going to handle everything by the push pins. I like to use push pins, the kind of not just a straight up thumbtack, so you have something to hold on to. So I make a little seat with these four here, and I'm actually going to put one directly into the stem. Now this is going to be easier because this is our craft pumpkin. It's ready to go with these, and it's ready to accept those little pins. So when I actually start pouring, and I'll have gloves on as well too, is I'm going to handle by the pins to give myself more versatility. Now, you're welcome to add more. I think that'll probably work for me, just those four on the bottom and the one on the top. But you're welcome to add more if you like. Now, once I start painting, I like to keep that party going. So I'm going to take care of these little ones for the dredges right now. I'm losing my voice a wee bit. I'm not sure what that's about. But this is also when I also got a ton of use of stuff already around the house for this. So little plates, I can reuse these. I can set them right on here and they're good to go, whether I have enough push pins or not. If I want to get that nice smooth edge all over, I can get those little push pins. So I don't think this is going to need as many, but again, these are tiny, so they're sinking in the flesh of the pumpkin real easy. And because it's so tiny, I think I can, actually I'm just going to rearrange this. I'm going to make a little diamond. I think I can get away with 3. and just test it on your flat surface. Boom. And you're gonna know whether it works or not. So I got this little guy over here as well too. I have a few more push pins in front of me. This guy is a little weighty. I actually feel like I could use, I'm not super strong right now. And by that I mean recently, because strength is a time commitment to build up. This has a little bit of weight to it. I'm thinking this is maybe 4 or 5 pounds. So that one might require a few more pins. But in the meantime, check this out. So here's a tiny one. I can use a little plate to catch the dredges, move this around as needed, but also, since it's so tiny, I'm just gonna make a diamond in the bottom. So I can get as much paint on here as possible. And if you want, you could even give yourself like a little extra edge, like a little gap in here. But just keep in mind, you know, you do have gravity and physics to work with. So as you set that down, it might just lean into the flesh of the pumpkin anyway. Okay. And we'll just check that baby over here. Oh, see, that one did not sit up as well. So, let's move this one out a wee bit. Okay, that's a little more stable. Okay, and now let's get to a big pumpkin friend. Our big pumpkin friend. I have a few fresh unused tacks on my cork board in my home office here that you can't see in front of me. This one I think I'm gonna do another 4. I'm gonna make another seat in the bottom. And let's see if that'll sit. Perfecto. Now let's see if I can get 2 on the top. I'm gonna be very careful about these. Ugh, okay. I don't know if I'm strong enough to get that inside the stem. Oh. Now I already have some planning for this as this paint poured over. As the paint pour off this out and this dries, I thought it could be really fun to actually paint the stem itself. And obviously if you have a more flourishing stem that is more wickedly this way comes, you could have more fun with that. But I thought it'd be fun to paint this a metallic color when it's dry. The paint pour kits say they take about 24 to 36 hours to dry from what I've read. I don't think I read that on here. I think I read that on their website. I know in the past when I've made my own paint pours that sometimes, depending on the thickness of that paint and the pour itself, that it's taken sometimes as much as 3 days to dry. Now, maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I have a lot to learn. I do have a lot to learn. I'm not a perfect expert on this, but I am an expert on just kind of going with the fluid flow and having a little bit of fun. So again, disclaimer today is we're using kit paint. This is not homemade paints. This is not homemade paints. You can get this at Michael's. You cannot find this gray cat at Michael's. That is, but I'm sure you can go to a rescue and find a wonderful animal companion to join you for much, much time. So I'm going to shake these guys up a little bit. I like to reuse stuff around the house. So actually what I have here is I have a pizza box from the other day to actually function as our catcher of everything. And I'm going to switch to our direct down camera to show you more as I finish our setup for today. And then we'll jump in. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to clear this area because I'm obviously going to have pour over. And I want to let you know that I'm moving in a particular order. I'm going to be working on the real pumpkins first because this is a sample for a small workshop I'll be teaching at my day job, or at least guiding other participants through. I want this one to come out as perfect as possible. So with that in mind, this is going to be our initial pour. This is going to be our dredge work. Dregs. This is what we're going to work on for those. So let me clear out my work area a little bit. Also, another thing you're going to do is this actually gets really messy if you haven't done it before. You're gonna want some gloves. And you're gonna want more than a set. You're probably gonna actually just want these for cleaning the house, litter boxes, gross stuff, messy craft projects. I also am wearing an apron too to cover everything up. I'm covering up this little watch I have on over here as well. And let's do a quick reset. Okay, so we can set our unused pumpkins over to the side. A little bit of prep is going to go a long way just to keeping yourself headache free. I have extra push pins here. Those could accidentally be a little owie, so I'm putting those back on the board. I'm setting my extra plates as I'm disheveling my plates just a little bit so they're easy to pick up so that I don't have to struggle with this while wearing gloves, which that seems comical. Like, Kira, is that something you struggle with? Okay, maybe not. But if it was like this, and for very new out of the cupboard, it might be a little difficult. So, you know, I like to just dishevel them a little bit so it's a nice, quick, easy pickup for yourself. Again, little prep goes a super long way. Now, I could do a couple of tactics here. I could actually catch the bottle when I throw it, but I can, I have more cuts. Worst comes to worst, I don't think I'm gonna need this. This is like a 12-ounce solo cup. I don't think I'm gonna need that at all. But what I think was gonna cover the surface area a bit is these like little mini cocktail cups. Set my extras over here. I'm gonna make sure these are ready to go. This is a great part of prep. I didn't check this. I've been shaking these up all day. They have a tiny foil seal. Did you see that little glimmer? So these gloves are not gonna help me, or will they? We gotta take these babies off. Oh, they're working fine with the gloves. And now it's on the carpet. But this carpet is specifically for this home office room that is aware that I am a messer. But yeah, check your paints. I notice that sometimes the paint at the shop comes with these seals. Sometimes it doesn't. You can see that this blue is just so gorgeous. This one specifically is, let's see, oh, it's phthalo blue. That's amazing. I love phthalo blue. It's a use with caution type of paint in acrylics and oils. And I just run with scissors with that baby. I love it. What I haven't mentioned is from a previous paint kit, actually the one I got all those embellishments with, is I have a handful of colors actually left over. I have some red, some silver, and some green. These are already opened and well shaken. If you want an ASMR moment, they're nice and liquidy. Typical word of caution, much like if you were doing regular painting, you're going to watch out for your complement colors because we don't want to make a ton of brown. So in one of the mixes, I'm not going to put these two together, but I can use them in separate mixes. I might maybe get some cool greens out of these. We'll have to see. Get some light greens out of here. Maybe some deep dark greens with this purple or with the phthalo. We're gonna have to check it out. And I've got one more blue here. Sorry. This is my phthalo. This one is bright blue. Ooh, that one came off so nice. I just love the colors. It just already, very much looking forward to messing around of a confident customer, I think I would go straight into the cocktail cup. But when I actually take these out for the classes, I will put out lots of little tiny cups like this for my students. So actually, why don't we just do that, and I'll just see what it looks like. We'll actually get to see what that paint really, really is like. I'm going to give another little shake up. Even though it's a kit, I'd give it tons of shake ups if it was my own home brew, for sure. We're going to be getting a little witchy over here. This is like my own little, this gets to be like my solid cauldron. Ooh, that's so beautiful. And we are calling this one Aqua Green. Fitting. Ooh, I love seeing how the metallics come out. And I'm being biased right now. I'm doing the phthalo because it's like my favorite. Okay. So just so you can kind of get an idea what some of those colors look like. Now, one thing you can do to get a little, I'm going to set my glitters over here. Those are going to be a finishing touch, if utilized, that I would do probably glove free. This will kind of, you're going to hold this away from your face. This silicone blaster. We're just going to give this a little squirt. This is actually going to help all the paint run off the cup for a little less use. So let's see. Ooh, you can already see those little, some of it got inside the teal or the aqua green. You can start seeing it's already starting to like make some little cells in there. That's pretty fun. You can see it's looking almost a little scaly. That is that. Okay, so this is our first victim for today. So I'm gonna go straight in here, and this is gonna be called a dirty, the first pour I'm doing is gonna be a dirty flip cup pour. So let's get this going. A little gravity is going to drop some of that into the bottom. I'm going to take out this actually old silver that I've got going. We'll see how that goes. And actually, let's ooh, that's just beautiful. You can see how that silver is already like shining. And let's just do the gold on the side. I'll have a little, so actually to give myself a little bit of order, I'm going to put the colors I have used over here. And honestly, that's plenty. I'm actually going to pull back on the screen. Let's see what we can get out of these 5 colors right up here, okay? I'm including white as a color in this. So let's go for a little bit more teal. Let's use this baby. And again, we're using like a little bit of height to see how this goes. Maybe cut through to the bottom there. This is how it's going to look from the sides. don't see a lot of color mix in here, so let's go a little bit heavier. I'm always a little. We've got 3 other pumpkins to work with, so just try stuff out. Okay, that's 5 colors. 1 second. I'm gonna go over here. Funnily enough, a nice little silver Sharpie. I'm just gonna put a little mark on here for my own self about how high that is. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Maybe we'll get some cool dredges. Okay. So I'm going to move these. Let's quickly reset. I want to get a dredge pumpkin ready for the side. So, and I'm going to go orange. Actually, let's just go white and we'll switch it out if we absolutely hate how it's happening. Okay. All right, dirty flip cup pour. So if you haven't done this, I'm going to adjust this a little bit so I don't have to keep moving. Okay, cool. Thanks for your patience. Okay, that's pretty good. Hey, Slancha. Okay, dirty flip cup pour. So if I had a canvas, what I would do is almost the same thing. I would take this cup, this, and then I would flip them over. I'm going to do that with this pumpkin. And that's a dirty flip cup. That's a dirty cup flip pour. So probably have a little paint in my hair now, but that's fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm sitting that pumpkin right on top of here. It did not touch the thing. And, you know, I'm going to be super spoiled. I'm just going to put this, I want to kind of get another vantage point. I'm going to put this on my phone as well, too. Okay. So. All right. That's recording. Okay. So. All right. Wish me luck. I haven't done this in literally like a year. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So I have my pumpkin. I am putting the pumpkin on top of here. Okay. Lift, flip. Oh my gosh, it's already starting. And then twist. And then this will be our dredges. Okay, so actually let's not worry about the dredges right now. Let's start using those thumbtacks to our advantage. So I have the tacks at the bottom. I'm holding the tacks by the bottom. Oh, careful, they come out really easily. And you know what? I don't think we're going to use this tacks at the bottom because I could start feeling it searing into the flesh. So this is our first pumpkin. And that's a little bit on the carpet. Okay, so let me bring you closer so you can check this out. Okay, so a couple of things that I think that could make this better. Already analyzing, and just from past experience. So it's still going good, but it could always be better. So check this out. And actually I'm going to switch you direct to camera so you can really see what I'm getting at here. Just a second. Okay. Join me on a journey. Thank you. Okay, so here's what we've got going on. You can see that we still have a lot of uncovered surface. Okay? We can also see a lot of paint building up right over here as well too. That's way too thick. So there's a couple of things I have in mind. What would I do to make that not the case? First, I steady this camera. Then I switch back to two-person view. Couple of things that can make this better and less congealed. Add a little bit of water. Maybe add a drop of isopropyl. We are getting some nice cell work on here. I'll bring you back down there in a minute to show that off to you. But some of this is like way too thick. Now this pumpkin was a little pimply and bumpy. So there's that as well too. They're going to be kind of catching and snagging some of that paint on there. We do have a beautiful little pool down here. I'm not in love with these. You can see the paint, like look how thick that silver is. So you know what that silver was? The silver was from last year's kit. So maybe that really needs some water in it or just not to be used. So for the main pour, I might refrain from using that color completely. But see, it's just like, it's way too thick in there. So since we have a partial, I think this is different, it's unique, I'm not completely in love with it, and because I'm not completely in love with it, I'm willing to mess with it more. So let's put some glitter on it. I'm just adjusting another camera over here. Okay, this one I'm thinking we're going to do more of a sprinkly, a sprinkly glitter. So the silver pops out enough. I think I'm going to dust with this little pouch of glitter snow. Like it's like, because it's so small and sparkly. Now, what they say about glitter is true. And that is a lot of things, and they're probably all true. And that it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It makes things better. Don't get it in your eyes. Let's just make it snow. I am not hating this at all. I'm going to turn using my pumpkin, the little seat I have. Okay. One of my thumbtacks, I can see on the side angle now that one of my thumbtacks actually came out. Remember I said I felt like I could just feel it like ripping the flesh was getting loose on there? Okay, now I want to save some of this glitter in case I love this so much that I want to do it again. Because this is, I have more. Oh my gosh. I know I have a thing of glitter. Another thing of clear, like white glitter. Where is it? I need to drop these headphones for a second and find my glitter. This little thing too. This is full of, I mean, it's a larger sparkle. I can't help it. Just a sprinkle. Just a sprinkle. Onto the pumpkin, Kara, not onto the freaking like box. Okay. Now please notice I'm not blowing hard. I want to just, I'm just trying to move the glitter around. So, okay, that's feeling much better. Let me switch over view and show you what we've cooked up for this first pumpkin. Come with me once more. Thank you for joining me on this journey. think that's coming out pretty cool. Let's let that focus there for a second. I think you can see the sparkle on there. This is looking like a beautiful purple and white dinosaur egg. And I think what I would do is I would paint this stem. The stem I would paint like probably silver. Yeah, I think I'm going to paint the stem silver for sure. That was pretty neat. Okay, I think we can do let's do another small flip cup pour actually for the tiny pumpkins. So, one moment. Okay, here we're seeing. Okay, now the only thing I need to do with this baby is slightly get it out of my way. And hope that a cat does not come in to touch it. Alright. This might be a terrible idea, but I'm relocating it nearby. Fresh set of gloves. If the gloves fit really well and you can wipe them off and everything so you can reuse them, fantastic. Fantastic. So, gloving up. For those of you familiar with first aid courses. Okay. I'm going to carefully, I'm not so worried about ruining the paint underneath because we didn't get a full pour. But I'm carefully picking that up, letting a drip or two come off before I relocate it. Okay. And like what I just said, here we go. So you can see one of those little thumbtacks. Did not make it. How thick is this? Not too thick. The other thumbtack over here. I have a few shop cloths, so excuse me. All right, so let's do a tiny pour. I'm going to move this a little bit. We're going to do a tiny pour on this guy right over here. He's nice and centered. This is really tiny. So let's use some of what we've already got going. Okay, now let's make sure. Let me grab a drop of water. Let me grab a tiny bit of water because some of this was a little thicker than I had imagined from a pretty fresh kit. Just a little bit of water and popsicle stick handy. All right, I already have some gold in here. Let's see what happens this time. Oh, see, you can start to see it build thickening already. This was some that we previously laid out. So that is what I'm going to take. Ooh, and there's a little bit of glitter in there as well too. Okay, I'm going to put just a couple of drops of water in here. That's not a couple of drops. That will have to be the water for the rest of our paint mixture. But let's stir this up. And what you're really looking for at the end of it is you want the consistency of like warm honey. So it shouldn't be like drip, 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 but there should be like a nice little trail off the popsicle stick for you. I feel bad, I can't really like, that's a little liquidy. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're gonna start with this gold one. I'm gonna set this right over here. And we're going to start mixing with these little cups right here. I'm just really curious. Again, another popsicle stick. I'm just going to mix up what's in here. Not coming out of those cups super nicely, so I think I'm going to work from the bottles. But I'm going to make sure to give each bottle a really good shake up beforehand. So we used these 5 colors beforehand, and some silver. So let's use a bit more gold. We had the phthalo blue and some white. Ooh, we're seeing some color mixing already. This is a tiny pumpkin, but I think I want to go overboard as opposed to go under like I did on the last one. So I'm going to put maybe a little more paint than I think that I need. I still am feeling confident with everything that we have here. We have enough to get through the kit to use on our 2 mini pumpkins and our 2 large pumpkins, and probably have a little bit left over. Okay, so let's see what we've used so far. So far we have only used gold, white, and phthalo blue. Let's go with this bright blue. I don't know, let's just see what happens. Let's just do this and some green. Yeah, let's do this and some green and see what happens. And those will be our 5 colors for this mix. Now again, the silver from that old kit was really, really bad. ASMR moment. Let's make sure these are really liquid. I'm not gonna put blue on blue, but I will put some blue on green. Ooh. All right. And this time we're gonna cut the mixture as well too. And I'll show you what that means literally in a second. I want to be a little careful. This is my only tube of white, and I don't want to stop the whole program just to make brand new extra white paint. So I'm going to be a little frugal on this and end up using these as kind of like my tints, if you will. T-I-N-T-S. I'm not going to put red in there because I don't want any browns anywhere near this mixture. Okay, this for a tiny pumpkin is feeling like a lot, if you see what I mean. So, let's do another dirty flip cup for, oh, we still have some paint in here. Oh well. Ooh, should we put this in there? No, that adds 2 more colors. Okay, so, I'm going to give it a little blast of silicone spray, just on the top. Okay. And then I'm going to literally cut it like this, like with a little cross. Kind of touch some of those colors on each other. Okay, and again, we're doing another dirty cup flip pour. So I'm literally, this is really cool, and this one has one, this little one has one of these more cool gnarly stems. So again, boop, right in here. Got a little tiny pumpkin, and I'm gonna go a little paint right in here. Okay, and this one is definitely going to start pouring out before I even finish flipping it. So we're gonna go flip. It's pretty stable. I'm holding the cap down on here, and then I'm gonna twist and lift. Whoa. Okay, this one's pretty cool. Little dark. This one has some fun dredges. Oh boy. Okay, so that was really sweet. So for a tiny pumpkin, we know that this is a really good size. And that about halfway will cover a really small pumpkin. Oh, whoa, we're getting some really cool cells. Okay. Wiping my gloves on my apron. Oh no, it froze. Wait, I forgot to transition. Wait, it still froze. Worst comes to worst, I will move my Elgato for you. All right, we're gonna move the Elgato in a sec. Actually, we'll just bring it up to the Elgato. That seems way easier. So we're moving forward, we will only be using the Elgato cam because this cam froze. So let me gently bring this up to you and try to make sure it doesn't fall over. How freaking cool is that? And don't worry, I'll give you a right side up view here in just a second. But let me wipe off my gloves again and adjust to right side up, and I'll give you a better view. You can see my bulletin board here with a little sketch on it. Ooh, this pumpkin's sliding around, so I'm gonna be super careful. Oh. Okay, it's actually maybe a little hard to see how impressive it is. This side's really cool. Let me... Here we go. You can still see it. You can still see it. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we're gonna, to keep with the technical consistency with today's session, whoa, this plate's coming out really cool. So actually I'm going to lift this up by the stem, because that's gonna get painted over. And you can see we have a really cool paint pour that I can bring up closer to you and show off to you. So, and this is, you can see that. Okay, that's really freaking cool. I'm gonna just let gently. You can see a ton of cells here on the top side. Came out really nice. And let's just try and fill this little plate up. We got some paint on here, so let's have some fun with it. Now let's make like a cascading little wave. I don't want to ruin these cells over here. I like them so much, but there's not as much paint in there. So it out, and then nope, dude cannot bring it back, but still looking neat. And we're just gonna set that down there, and we'll have an artful little plate we can hang on to for a little bit. Okay, and that's really pretty. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit, and we're gonna get to the main occasion, and then we'll do some dredge pours, or just some pour overs on the smallest one remaining. Hey, Shadow. The Shadow's just chilling out over here. Okay, so again, sorry that the camera died for my direct to camera. I'm just going to literally set this in here and squish and make sure this is going to stay. And we're going to right side up this for the best. We only have one camera, but doesn't mean we can't have a good view of this pour. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do another cup like this, but we're gonna fill it up way more. This is a similar pumpkin, granted it is a little smoother. It is not a complete pumpkin, so it's not gonna have all these little beautiful imperfections along the side. I'm gonna give this another silicone blast. And we already have a beautiful purple pumpkin. I am digging the blues. I think I need to use more golds. I'm really curious to see how gold comes out, because I would also love to use some of these large sequence pieces on there as well too. So let's just see what happens. So I have my silicone cup, and I'm going to start with gold. And this one was pretty liquidy, so it's feeling pretty good. I'm going to go with the other blue that we didn't use so much of. This is the bright blue. Let's give it a little shake beforehand, just to be safe. And make sure that top is screwed on nice and tight, so it doesn't end up everywhere. I got white. Again, I want to be a little cheap on the white because I don't have a ton of it, and I don't feel like remaking it. I give it a nice injection into there, so it comes out pretty nice. Let's do a smidge more gold. I'm gonna do a little bit of purple. And let's do a little bit of red. I wonder if that red will get us maybe a little, a bit of that red, and these purples will maybe, we have a purple in here and we have a blue and some gold, and I wonder if this red won't get us a little bit of some nice pinks. It's feeling still nice and very liquidy. So, this bottle does not squeeze well. There we go. We are out of red. Honestly, I love using up some art supplies. Okay, let's do a little bit more white because I really want to see some pink. I'm going to end with gold. I'm going to do another silicone spray, and I'm going to cut it.
Hey, I think it's killing my stream.
Okay, got it. So, hey, unexpectedly, a few technical difficulties, and I actually have to jump off. So I will be back on later. Check out my Instagram. I'll finish pouring this, and I'll make this, I will record this for Instagram instead. Okay? Sorry about that, but something came up, and I've got to sign off. Thanks for joining me for the first pours, and I will catch y'all later.